Hi. The Arabs have an expression that I actually heard for the first time when I was in grade 6. Not knowing that at the age of 52, I will end up here. It says that in every person there's a sleeping giant. And I actually forgot about it until one day I stood in front of my class and suddenly I was reminded of this. And I realized that the sleeping giant did wake up in me many years ago. The time when I wanted to jump the bridge, and when it came to the point when I realized that if I don't jump out and do something, I'm going to end up as an old poor white. Well, what happened was back in '96, a parent one night after I had a singing group practice with my students insisted to take me home. It was winter and it was dark, but I was only 5 houses away from my own, and she insisted. So in the car, in that little while of not even a minute, we heard a lady that is actually like a country gospel singer back in South Africa, Glenda Watson. She was speaking on the Christian radio station about, I can't even remember what, but the mother who gave me the lift back home asked me if I knew her. I said, well, I don't know her personally, but someone gave me a cassette of hers called Putting It in the Grave. And this was really about forgiveness. Well, she said, you know what, I feel you have to go listen to it tonight. So I did. The moment my family was asleep, I went to sit. It was still a hi-fi system. And I played the cassette on this hi-fi system. And I realized that I actually had unforgiveness towards my ex-husband's family, who treated me so harshly, even though I never said one harsh word towards them. I only ever treated them with kindness. Little did I know that when we had arguments, he went to tell his family his own version, which really always made me look bad. I discovered this only many, many years later. The fact is that I bore grudges towards them for the way they treated me, which was really unforgiveness. And you know what? I went to sit down that night and I forgave each one of them. Since then, I realized the importance and the power of forgiveness. Not only until you are forgiven are you really a prisoner, are you encaged by your own emotions. These people walk on none the wiser how much damage they caused. They were just instruments in the hands of the devil, you know. So I try and stay true to this and always check my heart and keep my heart clean, that I don't have any unforgiveness towards anybody. It's good to really separate yourself regularly. I would say every 3 to 6 months, and just clean out the house, you know what I mean? Clean out all those thoughts of unforgiveness. and just choose again to forgive. I also realized one morning I woke up and forgive 70, and forgive 70 times 7 just came into my spirit. And I realized, there are people who really, you keep on encountering them and they keep on hurting you. And you really have to guard your heart and make sure that you forgive every time. Sometimes it is 70 times 7 because they keep on hurting. Sometimes it is 70 times 7 because those memories come up again and again. And you have to take those thoughts captive in obedience to Jesus Christ and forgive every time, even if it takes 70 times 7. I heard a testimony of a pastor, David. Apparently, he was raised back to life in a crusade of Reinhard Bonnke in Africa. Him and his wife had an argument that night, and in the heat of the argument, she slapped him through the face. He was so angry. He went to their house. He went back into their room and he locked the door. And he refused to open the door for her. She knocked and she pleaded for forgiveness and apologized, but he would not open that door. The next day, he went down a hill in his car and the brakes failed and he died. His wife was in that ambulance with him and she commanded him to come back to life. He says that the angel's goodness and mercy was in that ambulance with him, and they took him to hell, and they said to him, if your wife did not pray for you to come back tonight, this is where you would have been. He said, no way, there's no chance that I could go to hell. I'm a pastor. And they said, yes, this is where you would have been because you didn't forgive your wife last night. So we really need to stay in forgiveness. Well, what I didn't tell you is after I sat down and forgave that family, I was healed from depression that I suffered from for 12 years. So don't give people the power who don't even realize that they've done it. Like I said, they were just instruments in the hand of the enemy. Keep your heart clean and forgive. I once heard a talk by Ria Eiser's daughter, Lineke. She told how a friend used to gossip about her behind her back and badmouth her. And she discovered this, and it really hurt her. And eventually, because this was really driving her crazy, she asked God what she must do. And He gave her 6 steps in the Word of God. Unfortunately, I made notes and I lost that paper almost immediately. But I will never forget the 6 steps, the practical steps. She would imagine that this friend, let's call her Linda, would knock on a door. She would open the door, step 1. Step 2, she would invite her in. Step 3, she would put her hands on her shoulders, look her in the eyes. And step 4, say to her, Linda, I forgive you. Please forgive me for anything that I might have done to hurt you. Step 5, I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. And then step 6, I pray His best blessings over you. And every time, and yes, these things happens. These thoughts come back again and again. She was very diligent and faithful and alert about this. Even if she was busy washing dishes, she would put the dishes down, dry her hands, and go through the 6 steps. Until she said it came to a point where she actually couldn't wait to see Linda again, and she was so happy to see her. So guys, I want to encourage you, because if we don't forgive, He cannot forgive us. And most of the time, what was done to us may be even little in comparison to what we do to others that we are not even aware of, simply because of our fallen, sinful nature. So forgive and put it in the grave. Be blessed in Jesus' name.